Pub day.
Pub day, pub day, pub day.
Pub day. Pub day.
Let's have a drink to toast to pub day.
It's pub day.
To pub day.
Ooh, I'm going to get the bubbles on that later. The parting of the ways, we're at the end. We are at the end of the season.
The ways are parting.
What is that referring to? The only thing
Jack?
I can think of is Jack, yeah. Like, what? And is he that big a deal?
It's a good title, though.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's like a very good title for an episode.
Yeah, I can only think of it being Jack, but who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? I said fuck within the first minute. We're never ever going to get money from this if we just keep fucking fuck. Okay, that's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not beeping it, though, because that's just so much work.
Dial down. Dial it back, sir.
What's the point? I'm sorry. I'm just
foul, coarse language.
Look, I'm just excited, okay? We finished a season. We have successfully watched
We still have to do this last episode. I will come back to us having done a season in 2 hours. Welcome to Doctor Who Rewind, an unofficial and unprofessional rewatch podcast where I, Katie, and my friend Tyrese
couldn't think of anything clever to say just now. Hello.
Watch and discuss episodes of Doctor Who, starting with the revival in 2005. Once we complete that, we'll backtrack to the 60s and talk about classic Who. In between seasons, we'll discuss extended media, things like book.
Cool. Things like book.
Things like books, games, Big Finish audio adventures.
Someday we're going to take unprofessional out the name.
No, we're not.
Today's not that day.
No, we're not.
I genuinely did try and think of something clever to say, and my brain went, Rose, Jack, Doctor, fuck! And I just went, I couldn't think of anything. What do you think of the parting of the ways?
Oh, it's just good, isn't it?
All right.
It's just a good one. Like, I will find myself having very little critical to say about this episode, and a lot of it's just going to be like, oh my god, good.
I have a lot for the beginning and a good amount for the middle and then some for the end, but I think, and I said this to you earlier in a text, that this episode has such a big ending.
It does.
That the rest of the episode, whilst it's good, gets completely overshadowed. Once you follow the episode and you're like, okay, the ending happens, and then I can't remember the rest of the episode because that last scene, whilst it has one line that I fucking hate, and we know which one it is. You know, I know you know which one it is.
I know which one it is.
Other than that, I love this. Rose T-poses at one point. I don't know if you saw that, but she does. It's my favorite.
She what now?
When
does she T-pose?
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're on a journey
What a
now.
joy. What a joy.
We open up with like CG ships too. There's a lot of CG elements this time.
There is a lot of CG in this one.
But before we get into it, why don't you just tell me what happened in the episode?
Okay. I'm going to do this flawlessly in one take.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm telling you now, I'm doing this flawlessly in one take, alright?
Knock on that wood. That's it.
Picking up immediately where Bad Wolf left off, the Daleks turn on Rose, demanding to know the Doctor's plan. She's saved when the Doctor and Jack materialise the TARDIS around her. Under the protection of Margaret Slithine's extrapolator shield, the Doctor confronts the Dalek Emperor. The Emperor reveals that after falling through a time war, he built a new race of Daleks by harvesting human genetic material. With an army of mad mutant Daleks to defeat, the Doctor and co head back to the game station. They devise a plan to stop the army, a delta wave that will wipe out everything in the radius of the blast, and the Doctor has 22 minutes to do it. Rose and the Doctor begin working on the delta wave while the rest of the station is protected by the programmers, the contestants who were left behind, and Linda with a Y. While Jack warns the contestants to stay quiet and arms the programmers, Rose asks the Doctor if they could just go back in time. The Doctor says it's impossible. When he begins to reflect on the bleak circumstances, he feigns excitement and tells Rose he has a plan to fix things. Once she's in the TARDIS, he sends her home to keep her safe. The Emperor Dalek chimes in, and when questioned about the words Bad Wolf... I missed a word.
Oh, no. Fucked it. Fucked it almost immediately.
Fuck! I'm 4 paragraphs in. Eat one.
Eat a fat dick. And then Rose...
The Emperor Dalek chimes in, and when questioned about the words Bad Wolf, he has nothing to say, as this is not part of the Dalek design. The Daleks make their way through the station, with Linda monitoring them for an observation deck, or the kill floor, if you will. Jack's forces are quickly exterminated by the Daleks. Back on Earth, Rose is upset about being sent home, refusing to give up, as that isn't what the Doctor would do. She returns to the TARDIS with Mickey after seeing some more Bad Wolf graffiti and tells him her plan to reveal the heart of the TARDIS in order to use the telepathic circuits to return her to the game station. Jackie tries to convince Rose to stay, but Rose tells her that her dad would have told her to do anything to save the Doctor. After an argument about Pete, Jackie returns with a large yellow tow truck. On the observation deck, Linda can see the Daleks destroying continents on Earth. From the outside of the room, an assault Dalek begins to cut through the doors, but out in space, a group of Daleks also find Linda, firing out the glass and sucking her out into space, killing her in the vacuum. Jack, the only surviving human, makes his way to floor 500, only to be shot by Daleks and killed. Jackie's truck manages to break up in the TARDIS console, and Rose looks into the light. Energy rushes into her eyes, and the doors slam closed. The TARDIS dematerializes and returns itself to the game station. The Doctor is unable to activate the Delta Wave as he hesitates and decides he'd rather be a coward than a killer. Rose bursts out the TARDIS, stopping the Daleks' beams with ease and declaring herself the Bad Wolf, scattering the words from the wall of the game station through time and space as a message to herself. She wipes out the Daleks with ease and returns Jack to life, but the power begins to kill her and the Doctor kisses her, taking the energy into himself. Back in the TARDIS, Rose wakes up, unable to remember what happened. The Doctor sadly begins to tell her all the places he was going to take her. He tells her that they were both fantastic and begins to expel all of that extra energy as his features change and he regenerates, revealing David Tennant as the next Doctor.
Ooh, exciting.
Wowee.
Wow.
What a one.
What an episode, eh?
I would like to note that summary is not entirely in order of what happens, but it's in a coherent order of what happens.
Okay. The opening of this, not like immediate opening, but opening scene, I suppose, is one of the few times, I think we've seen it one other time in the Empty Child and Dr. Dances, that the TARDIS actually flies
in space
and isn't just disappears
here to here.
Yeah.
But this episode opens straight away with action. They are not giving you a second between these 2 weeks.
I like I love that the Daleks at the beginning are talking to Rose and they're like, you will predict the Doctor's actions, and then she's like, I don't fucking know. Like, he's an alien with big head brain. I don't fucking know. And then the Doctor flies in and they start fighting him and she's like, no, he's got no defenses, you'll kill him. And the Dalek's like, you predicted correct. And I think this might be like the first proper emergence of the sassy Dalek.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a bit hokey. That's like where I will allow the cheesiness to come through for like my personal taste, is when like Daleks have their own little like Z snap.
Like, is there a funny Dalek? Do you think that there's they're on Skaro and they're like, oh, this guy, he's doing it, and it's just because everything they say is so literal and so matter of fact.
Imagine if a Dalek said lol, just once, I
wouldn't
once.
like that very much.
Just one robotic lol.
I don't think I would feel very good about hearing that.
How do you feel about the Time War being pointless?
Oh, that is a gut punch and a half,
isn't it?
Truly,
I think that is the exact words I've used. Is Time War being pointless is such a gut punch.
It's just, it really,
like, my people died and theirs didn't, and the entire point of everything is null and void.
It's like the reverse of having high stakes, if that makes sense.
Like
finding that out.
Like,
it's not just like, oh, the stakes are high for this adventure because the Doctor needs to see this. It's like the reverse. It's like, okay, so the Daleks already won, kind of.
But it's I like that it's a teachable thing of the Doctor being like, because he starts off the season, he's a bit darker and grittier and all this stuff, and and now he's back to his. I mean, when he shows up and he's like numpah, and he's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's kind of like feeling it.
Yeah,
in that moment.
When he gets told like, hey, this war was for nothing, he doesn't go back to being dark and broody man. He does a few things that I would still consider quite dark and broody, but I don't think that that's his entire persona anymore. And
you can tell the change.
He purposefully has learned and gone like, this is not. I'm not going to go back to being completely vengeful.
If you think about it, when we start with Rose, first episodes of this show generally don't tend to have incredibly high intense stakes and stuff, or if they do have high stakes, it's not in a serious way.
Yeah.
And I feel like you go from an adventure to start the show where the Doctor is just taking everything so seriously and it's just like living plastic, to then here, even when the Daleks are around, he's not he's not so dark about it. He's still got sort of concern for the other people and all this.
I love when they exit the TARDIS and he's like, nothing can get through those doors, and Jack's like, almost anything, and the Doctor's like, yep. Wasn't going to tell him that.
Kept that one to myself.
Fuck me, right?
Did you see how the mutant Dalek looks after Jack blows it up with his gun? When it's just kind of like a flap of a face.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
horrible.
Just the eye bit.
Yeah,
it's like a wet grossness.
Mm-hmm. I just no further thoughts on it. I just thought it was kind of freaky.
Jack in that scene is quippy as ever. He's like, "Oh, don't I get a hug?" And then she's like, "Oh, of course you do." And he's like, "I was talking to him." And it's like,
it's just more team TARDIS, more Boomtown Team TARDIS.
I thought I was going to die 4 seconds ago, Jack. The least you could do is touch me.
I have a note here that just says, "No nuance required." Eccleston is so good.
No nuance required.
Yeah. And like, I will maintain that through this whole episode,
he brings it.
that he's never not in it. You know, like there's never any kind of moment where it feels like, oh, you are not giving the absolute peak performance.
I'm gonna contest that. There is one line delivery in this episode that I don't like. It's not the line that you're thinking.
Which line? Or are we gonna get to it?
We are gonna get to it.
Okay.
Is this our first mention? It might be in Classic Who, I don't know. Is this our first mention of the oncoming storm?
Yep.
Okay,
it is.
right.
This is the first time anyone calls.
I know that he's like, you know what they used to call me? The oncoming storm. And I was like, I've heard him refer to himself as that, not even just in reference to Daleks. Just in general, he's like, I am the Doctor.
That is
the
one
oncoming
of the
storm.
hardest nicknames ever as well, by the way. Holy shit.
If someone was like, we don't know his real name, we know 2 code names. One's the Doctor, the other's the oncoming storm. I'd be like, I don't want to fuck with that guy.
Yeah, right?
I don't want to fuck
this
with
absolute mad lad.
I don't want to fuck with that. No, please leave me
Christ.
alone.
Like, do you have a picture of him? They pull up this like guy with a fucking shaved head in a leather jacket with a huge pair of boots on. Jesus Christ.
With ears the size of fucking console controllers. And he's just like, yes, I am here.
I am the oncoming storm.
One of us, we're just going to talk. I feel like this is going to be a lot of Eccleston's performance.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, even Billie Piper.
Oh, yeah, she does real well too.
So when Mother Brain's talking about how, you know,
Mother Brain? Mother Brain? That took me a second.
Thank you. I saw it in the episode and I had to Google what Mother Brain looked like to make sure that joke was like still funny because it's been a while since I've played Metroid.
Mother Brain, I hate you.
But yeah, so, you know, he's over there doing all this, talking about how the Daleks like rebuilt their numbers by like harvesting human genetic material, obviously from the game shows.
Yeah.
And the look on Rose's face of like anger/disgust.
Yeah, it's so rich.
It's very good. It's very good, Billie Piper. You should be very proud of yourself.
The reaction shot to it's in the next. What did you just say?
I said it's very good, Billie Piper. You should be very proud of yourself. And then I was like, why does she give a fuck what I think?
I was sitting there going like, why is she laughing? She's just laughing because she uses a dumb thing.
Yeah, no. I just thought about it for a minute and I was like, my opinion means fuck all to Billie Piper. So it should. I don't know what I'm talking about.
The previous episode's Next Time trailer, like, you know, for this episode, shows the reaction shot of, you know, they survived through me. Mm-hmm. That's such a, considering I imagine he was acting at nothing.
Yeah.
That's such a good. I know it's his job. I know his job is to pretend good. But this is pretending not good. This is pretending
pretending excellently,
yeah.
How do we feel about the Dalek Emperor in general, though? Just
the
quickly
design,
before.
I love.
Yeah,
I love the
agree.
design. You haven't seen the second Emperor, have you?
The second Emperor?
Oh, wait until we play City of the Daleks for the adventure game.
Okay. I actually found out some things about the Emperor Dalek. Absolutely nowhere near as exciting as I wanted it to be because a lot of it was very lore heavy. And, you know, stuff that, like, if you start, you have to go on years of novels and comics and stuff. But I found out that there is a Scarrow election every year. For the new Emperor Dalek.
And do they just put
They had political issues for a while where it just kept bouncing between these like 2 Daleks or something. I don't know. I didn't super look into it. But also, there can only be there can be more than one Dalek Emperor at a time. Like, it's the highest rank in the Empire, but there can be more than one of them at a time.
Okay.
As long as they are in charge of like separate forces of Daleks, and also they don't stay in contact with each other, but they're not necessarily hostile to each other either.
Okay, so they're like there's no way to go into what I was gonna say without sounding like a fucking virgin.
Oh yeah, cool. Because
So,
everything else that we talk about makes you sound so cool, like you have loads of sex.
Excuse me, my right hand is crispy. The thing.
Please follow that up.
I love the Dalek Emperor's design, but for this, I mean, and also today you said there was quite a lot of trivia, so we're just gonna sprinkle it throughout.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of trivia.
Right, so we won't have any dedicated section unless there's something that we missed by the end. The idea that they just remove the tank and pop another one in is so funny to me.
Well, funny you mention it because this puppet,
not how it's done.
The like mutant Dalek is a puppet. It was used for the last time in this episode before the season 4 finale. Because putting it in the Emperor Dalek's water tank damaged it so hard that between now and the season 4 finale, all of the like inside mutant Daleks that you see are all CG.
What the season 4 finale?
Yeah, Stolen Earth Journey's End.
They use this.
That's
same
the next.
one?
No, not like the little mutant Dalek on the inside, not the full thing, but just the little.
Oh, do they only have one of those?
Apparently, yeah.
That's so.
And it was
funny to me.
destroyed putting it in the water tank, and so everyone until then is just all CG. There you go. There's a little bit of trivia sprinkled.
I like the Daleks flinching when the doctor's like,
what is it that he says exactly? That
something about them listening to him. He's like, if anyone's gonna listen, it's you. And then he like turns around and the Daleks flinch, and he's like, oh yeah, spooky boobies.
It's just very good. Oh yeah, yep. He says, I'm a doctor, and if there's one thing I can do, it's talk. I've got 5 billion languages, and you haven't got one way of stopping me. So if anybody's gonna shut up, it's you.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then they do a flinch. I think another thing that is probably like less talked about for this episode in particular is a lot of the sound design.
Very good.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a song, I don't know which one it is, the obviously a Murray Gold song that is Dalek adjacent. Oh, it's not. No, it's not Dalek adjacent. It's the one that's like doo, 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 that kind of thing. That it's a bit war-y. I'm trying to think of where else it's used.
I don't know from that alone, to be
Wait
honest.
there, I'll find it on Spoofy.
It's the Daleks.
It's the Daleks, but that's it. It's a song that's in 3 parts.
It's
right,
in 3 parts, yeah. And I think it's Stolen Earth, Journey's End that you hear all 3 parts.
Yeah, because I think that's what I'm thinking of for it. But all of the music in this episode,
so very good.
I'm Coming to Get You, Hologram. They're all brilliant. Murray Gold. I know there's people who don't want him to come back, and like I stick by my have a new composer, but bring him back for the Tennant ones if they can, because that would be a cool little thing.
That would be very fun.
That's this.
The thing is, it's just an iconic sound of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like it really is. And I don't think it's until later when you're really in the show that you notice it. And there's one part which we won't get to till like season 7 or 8.
Of the Dalek theme?
No, of the Cyberman bit though.
The Cyberman?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like the season 7 Cybermen, but that's neither here nor there. So that they leave.
Ooh, can I just say one really quick thing? One like line delivery from Eccleston specifically that I'm like, ooh, very good, is when he's like,
so when they leave when they leave the ship,
is when he's like, when he says, since when did Daleks have a concept of blasphemy?
Yeah,
I don't know why, but something about like everything about that, I'm like, oh, that's so good.
There's been a massive shift in status quo that he's not aware of, and that freaks him out.
Yeah,
like there is now a new
yeah, this
thing.
guy's out here like, I am the god of all Daleks,
and he's like, oh shit. And there's a thing about the Emperor that's is it Dalek Khan that goes fucking nuts?
Yeah, like
there's a little bit of that in the Emperor, I think, of like,
well,
you know the idea of I can't be killed, I'm a god, and then Rose is like, pew, and
well, that's
what
Khan says that he like fell through the time war and made his way back like through the void or whatever, and this Emperor Dalek did also fall through the time war, so he has that same like, I guess, like time sickness or whatever, this like insanity of I have seen horrible things.
I got the temporal sniffles.
Rose hates Linda.
Oh, that's exactly what I was just about to say.
Linda.
I like when they leave the ship and he's like, you cannot leave my presence, and the doctor's like, bye.
Yep.
Leaving.
Going.
Yeah, Linda is like, oh, I stayed because I want to help, and Rose gives her the dirtiest look.
Oh,
and it's not like from, it's not Billie Piper being in character and she's in the background. They cut specifically to her
looking fuming,
being a bitch. She's like, fuck you, Linda. And I'm like, leave Linda alone, okay? She's only got
I love Linda otherwise.
Her life expectancy is 20 more minutes, so you leave that bitch alone. I do love Linda. I also like Jack as a leader in this when he gives his little pep talks and stuff. I enjoy it.
I really do as well.
I have one criticism for it.
I have one thought about it, which is just, is this the most action hero that Jack ever gets? I can't
seen Torchwood, so maybe.
Because the thing is, I mean, my last Torchwood viewing was a couple of years ago, and obviously I know Doctor Who better than I know Torchwood. So if this isn't like exact, forgive me.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
Torchwood, he is very much kind of more like, the sort of more like cautious leader role that the Doctor has, where he's like, I can't die. Like, let me do the dangerous things because that's who I am. And I think it's something to do with this whole immortality thing that obviously would change him.
Yeah.
But he is full action. I thought specifically when he's downstairs, when he's at the bottom floor and he's talking to all the contestants who are left there, and he's just firing his gun in the air and he's like, if the Daleks come down here, then like, try and stay quiet, but tell me then they're not real.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is
when you hear screams,
then.
Tell me then that the Daleks aren't real. There's a line that he drops that's like, where he refers to himself as a coward. He's like, God, I kind of miss being a coward now. Huh?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what a good day it would have been to have been my old self and to just walk away, but now he's not. And the only criticism I have is it's a very rushed slamming into a brick wall crash course in being a non-coward, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
For being brave.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it, but
What-
it is like we don't see other adventures that they go on with Jack, which they clearly have mentioned that they've been to a few places.
What
with
I'm
just
not
him.
super keen on about Jack, and I have never really noticed it before, but it really annoyed me these past couple of episodes, is him going,
Ooh.
"See you in hell." Like,
Does he say that a lot?
he says it about 3 times, yeah.
Oh.
Like, I think he says it in, like, every... Not counting, like, 2-parters, but, like, every adventure that they got. He says it in Boomtown. He says it here. And I'm sure he says it in Empty Child Doctor Downstairs as well. Like, 3 times.
He does say something that I do think is weird in this episode, where he like holds Rose by the face and he's like, "You are worth fighting for." And I'm like, this isn't all her fault. What?
Yeah.
This isn't. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
this isn't stringent on her.
it's not like the Doctor is going to go on, like, a Super Mario style adventure now to rescue, rescue Rose Tyler. You are worth fighting for. Yeah, so's the fucking planet, dude. So is the great fucking fourth great and bountiful human empire. That's also worth fighting for.
That bit at the beginning where he's in the TARDIS, he's like, "For my next trick, yahoo!" And he does a triple jump. Then he hits a star. And he's like, "Do do 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 do." And then,
Imagine the power-ups that the Doctor
Oh,
would have,
man.
like the Doctor Who specific power-ups that he would have.
I like, because we're just gonna say, I like, followed by a thing that we enjoy. That's
Yeah.
gonna be this
Look,
entire
yep.
episode.
Spoiler alert.
Is how completely unfazed and not weirded out the Doctor is by a mouth kiss from Jack. He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's
Rose,
like nothing.
Rose
to
is
him.
like, "Oh my god, you minx, you."
She's like, I've been waiting for this
Yeah.
for months.
He kisses Rose, and Rose is like on his face, and he's like, "Okay, all right, okay, all right, all right, okay." And then he
You
kisses
know, when
the
you watch
Doctor.
like cartoons of people, and I don't know, it'd be like a cartoon of someone with an octopus stuck to their face, and they keep trying to like
Yeah.
pull it off, and then their
It's like-
lips are like stretching out. That's what Rose is doing.
I imagine that he kissed the Doctor, and Rose in her head went, "Is that how easy it is? I just gotta fucking walk over and be like, "Mwah."
Yeah.
He's not even gonna be asked."
No, it's not even going to try anything.
I've been waiting 13 episodes, and I could have just been.
Yeah, just
done.
plant one on
Yeah.
him. It's one of my favourite ways to refer to kissing people, by the way. Just
I
be like, "Oh,
don't
plant one on
like
him."
that. I don't like
I think
stuff
it's funny.
that plant one on him. It's like, I feel like that would be like a punching instead for some reason. I have a note here. Have you got the script?
Yeah, I do.
I've got a note here.
Mhm.
That just says Jack's speech is harrowing, and I think I'm trying to remember what I was referring
I was
to.
going to say, if you can, I mean, I can try and work it out.
It's after the kiss, so it's before that. Oh, sorry,
It's
it's after
after
that.
the
After that,
kiss.
I'm not with it. Leave me alone. Yeah, it's after the kiss.
Oh yeah, is that after? So he says he was better off without the Doctor, be much better as a coward, and then Rose says he's going to be all right, isn't he?
Yeah, and the it's when he's like, it was great knowing you, and Rose is like, "Don't say that." And then then I think I'm referring to the speech downstairs where it's like, "If you hear people screaming," because that's where we cut to after that.
Well, he says upstairs about like making the plan about how the Daleks will come in like midway and go up.
Yeah.
And then when he's downstairs, he says, "Thanks. As for the rest of you, the Daleks will enter the station at floor 494, and as far as I can tell, they'll head up, not down. But that's not a promise. So here's a few words of advice. Keep quiet. And if you hear fighting up above, if you hear us dying, then tell me the Daleks aren't real.
Yeah.
Don't make a sound. Let's go."
Fucking
and then
excellent.
they all get in there.
I think this is also one of the strongest written in terms of like even monologues and stuff like that, because we don't get many like long speeches in this part of the RTD era.
No, we don't. And I think that this whole finale has a very different feel to it than the other finales. And I can't really tell you what it is. I don't know if it's maybe more of the action hero vibe. I can't tell if it's more of the fact that like I know other seasons set things up. Like I know other things pay off at the end, but I don't think anything ever goes as far as being like long game and then these two, because by this point, like I feel like all of the time that you would need to put on a setting or like a plan or this kind of thing, the work is kind of already done.
I think some of it has to do with the idea that Christopher Eccleston was leaving, and he knew he was leaving, but it's not in the same fashion of leaving as every other Doctor, where they go, "Okay, I'm gonna, I've done this for a long enough time. I've enjoyed my time. I'm going." There was friction to him leaving. There was, and I think the general aesthetic of this season is a bit more grimy than anything that comes afterwards, which is why
when I was watching it, Luke looked up at the screen once and he was like, "Oh my god, the lighting is crazy. I love it."
It
I was like, "Yeah, it absolutely
It's very 2005 stylized, and it also has the job, and it doesn't do this until the end, and it does it very well, of teaching new audiences about regeneration as a concept too. That was a lot, that wasn't it? Yeah. You got that. When you drink too much of a mouthful and it's like mostly alcohol.
Kind of cold on my teeth as well.
Oh no, not your teeth. The next part that I want to just talk about, because there's a lot of, so the weakest part for me, I think, is the the actual battle subplot. You know, the people
everyone fighting.
Downstairs.
I think that as well, though, to be fair, is part of what kind of makes it feel so different as well. I think that definitely has something going on.
We don't normally get violent fights with with
we
guns
don't.
and stuff. We normally get like a message about how words count more. I mean, even there is fighting in the next finale, but not as much, and it's not between the Doctor really.
This episode is incredibly violent.
Yes, and there's not in the season 3 finale. That is all just, I didn't go around making a weapon. You think I would make... So,
Thoughts about the season 3 finale aside, let's go.
Oh, do you not like it?
I don't not like it. I just have complex thoughts. I'm going to be 1 minute.
Alright, so the next bit I want to talk about... Oh, God. Oh! It's everywhere! Clean up on aisle me. Oh, I don't know when I'm going to leave that in.
What scene are we on now?
Oh, so I don't have a note for this just because I was like, I made a lot of notes in that first on the Dalek ship. And then I was like, I'm writing too much, so I want to slow down. So I slowed down and didn't write as many. But I do remember this scene. And there is an entire process that my brain has with this scene that the episode doesn't even spell out. But I like to think that this is the way things go down.
Feel free. Because you know what? I have a similar one later on, actually.
Okay.
So you share yours and I will share
So this
mine.
is when the Rose is like, hey, we could just go back and warn them. And then the Doctor's like, well, we can't do that in part of events. I could, but we could walk away. Like me, you and Jack very easily could just leave now and let history
Judging
take
from
its
things,
course.
he just means me and you.
Well, yeah. And they don't do that. And he's like, you could have suggested this. And he looks at Rose and he's like, didn't even cross your mind, did it? And she's like, well, I guess I'm just too good. But I think, at least this is the way that I choose to believe it, is that is when he solidifies his decision to send her home. There is like a maybe I will, maybe I won't. And when that happens, I think he sees a bit too much of himself in Rose, and he's like, "Oh, okay, this has gone on too long. It's too dangerous. I need to send her away." And then he goes over and he does a little computer thing, and then he does and you can see there's like, and this is all in Eccleston's performance again, is like there's a mental preparation for, in a second, I need to go from 0 to 100 energy-wise to make her think that I'm onto something, to trick her to going into the TARDIS.
Right.
And
well, like, he looks at the screen and he hangs his head, and then she says, doesn't she say, like, oh, what, is it bad? Oh, yeah, she comes over.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor says, the Delta Wave's building, how long does it need? And then Rose says, is that bad? And because he, like, drops his head, and she's like, okay, it's bad. How bad is it? And then he's like, Rose Tyler, you're a genius. Like, immediately, next line.
But that bowing his head and like it's preparing him for
to go into it
in a moment or two. I need to jump up. I need to be myself, my doctory self, get her into the box, and then from there send her home. And when she starts crying to Mickey, and I mean Billie Piper,
she has a breakdown.
If you were listening, I just want to say, drop dead gorgeous. That's fine. Ugly crier, and do you know what? I relate to it so much. I hate it when like a celebrity in a show is like doing a pretty
nice cry.
I'm like, what are you doing? No, where's the snot? Not enough snot.
I want to see a snot bubble. I want to see your lips shaking. No, she's very, very good in this whole scene. But did you notice where the TARDIS takes her back to?
It's just like
it's the same place that Pete gets hit by the car.
Oh my fucking god, that makes so much sense though.
That's where, and like, I mean, I know that logistically it's probably just the BBC could film there, so that they filmed that. I don't think there's supposed to be any meaning to it, but that is the same place. That's where Pete gets hit by a fucking car.
But that's the last time. No, Boomtown.
Yeah.
So realistically, it should have been on the Rift or some shit.
Yeah, like I just think that's like so funny. This is also like a point, and this is my little theory about this, because when I was watching it, like, because Mickey just immediately is like running down the street to come in.
He has a very good scene in this.
Yeah, to come and get her.
Yeah.
And Luke was like, oh, so he heard the fucking engines all the way from there, and he just knew. And my theory on this, which is a theory that I don't think anyone asked for or needs, but this is what I think about it.
Once you've been in the TARDIS?
I think that, yeah, like it's just sort of like they were, I imagine maybe Jackie as well, but I'm not sure about that one. It's just kind of like we are in the local area. And then because the TARDIS has like a telepathic field, I imagine it would kind of like, like loosely guide them to where the TARDIS has landed. So because that feels like the kind of thing the Doctor would do. So it's like, even if, so Rose isn't on her own.
Do you know what we've completely neglected?
What?
The hologram message.
Oh yeah, okay. We like jumped ahead a little bit there. So yeah.
It's like so important to the episode.
So,
and it's fucking heartbreaking.
The Doctor puts Rose in the TARDIS and he sends her away.
This is one of the 2 moments in this episode that I don't cry at, but I know that if I was a more emotionally in touch person,
you would be in tears.
I would be fucking bawling.
I did cry watching this earlier.
Today,
by the way,
I very almost did. I will say, my mum come in at one point and she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." Didn't cry. And I always know it's coming because I started with Tennant. I know that Eccleston only did 1 season. It's the first full season I watched anyways. And I've seen it countless times since age like 5, 6.
Yeah.
Like, I've always known that like he's about to die, and every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, you're doing this so well.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing this so well. That hologram message. The only problem that I have with it, and it's not even a real problem.
Is it the look?
No.
Oh.
It's the audio clearing up when he says the meaningful bit. The audio is like that scratchy kind of.
They do a very similar thing.
And then at the end,
the Doctor.
And then he turns his head. You remember Power of the Doctor?
I remember that part of it.
I can't.
Do you think I'm going to hear the 7th Doctor apologise to Ace and that's not going to be burned into my fucking brain?
Oh, right. That's okay.
For the rest of my days.
Hey.
I'm not going to have that like tattooed in the inside of my skull just to be like, oh, look, closure.
Less than 24 hours, by the way.
I'm going to cry.
So we mentioned this last week, but me and Katie will likely be meeting Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's a smile you can hear. More so for you than me, but I'm still excited. I'm looking forward to being there and being like, oh, my friend is seeing someone that she looks up to. That's great. And then I'll be like, and you are Radagast the Brown.
Ace is one of those characters for me that I'm just like,
girl boss.
I wanted to be Ace when I grew up. Like, she was so cool. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is Doctor Who Rewind. This isn't
it's not.
Katie has a feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, honey, yeah, every day's Katie has a feeling.
Hologram, the music is good. It's got its own fucking song. I mean,
it's a very nice message as well.
Yeah, what do you think about the ending of this message? Have a good life, Rose. Have a fantastic life. Did you just get a little goosebumpy thinking about it? Because I do.
I like it so much. I think that everything about this speech is very, very good.
I had a little horrible joke in my brain. It's not like horrible in a real sense, like horrible in universe sense.
Hit me with it.
Not like dark humor. She's like, screaming at the TARDIS. She's going, "Take me back," and I've just got a note that says you'll be saying that next year as well.
Oh. And did you get her line delivery on "How do you fly" when she goes running into the TARDIS and she's like, "How do you fly?"
Is that how she says it?
Kinda. Pause this. I'll find it in the show.
We've got iPlayer. Hell yeah, we're back. Yeah, no, that's an odd delivery. I like the interrobang right afterwards. The "How do you fly?" ? Exclamation point.
I think that we should talk a little bit about them being on Earth. Actually, no, we shouldn't, because there is one thing that comes before that, and that is that Jack makes a piss joke.
Does he?
He follows up his solid cum joke.
Good time to
take a leak.
Good time to take a leak.
Yeah.
This is the scene where we find out that the Doctor is about to commit his sequel genocide.
Yeah, his second crime.
One. How many people can be like, I did a genocide twice?
Well, the Doctor apparently.
Whoa, were you the guy that committed genocide? Which one, sweetie?
Which time?
Which one, sweetie? Like they're fucking Andy Warhol. Are you a fan of this one or this one? Do you know what I like about them being on Earth?
What?
My favourite conversation that happens in this episode is where Mickey's like, "Have you tried this new pizza place?" And Mickey goes, "Have you tried this new pizza place?" And Jackie goes, "What do they sell?" And Mickey goes, "Pizza."
Yeah. Mickey Smith is obsessed with pizza. He is obsessed with pizza, honestly.
Pizza.
He is 2012 Jennifer Lawrence. Just get this man a fucking pizza.
I just love the idea that he's like, "Have you tried this new pizza place?" And Jackie is like, "What does it sell?" Fish and chips.
What is it when she's like, "Oh, they've gone at market. They're selling tubs of coleslaw." And he's like, "Is it all right?" And she's like, "No, it tastes a bit clinical."
She's such a mother.
I love Jackie Tyler.
I don't know if she is like based on anyone else's mother, but that dialogue, like all of her dialogue is so on point, right?
Like the thing is, there are things that Jackie do. There are things Jackie do that I'm like, my mum do.
She's a legend, that's why.
Big up.
Doctor Who Rewind official. My co-host Katie's mum is actually a legend.
She's pretty good. She's a pretty good mum.
Pretty legend.
Shout out. I hit her with the mummy. Sometimes when you close your eyes, it's like I'm not real. Blinks
Oh
out of
God,
existence.
fucking hell.
I think we could talk about Bad Wolf.
Yeah, that's the next bit. Yeah,
That's where we're at.
it's written in Super Rose font. Did you notice? The coloration is like, when you want to try and like in art, if you want to try and make something light a certain colour, you mainly do the inside white, and then you've got like a rim light of the actual colour to make it seem really bright.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, so like if you so when you look at this, when it's written on the floor at least, Bad Wolf is written white and then it's yellow around the edge.
Outside.
And I'm like, oh my god, Super Rose or piss. Take your pick. You just go like I feel like at a certain point that this podcast is just going to be like Doctor Who and piss jokes, and only me and you are going to find it funny.
Yep.
And I will still upload every week. I don't give a shit.
Try and fucking stop us, man. This train is in motion.
Try and stop me pissing.
Rose has like a little speech actually here. Speaking of like the monologues that everyone gets, Rose gets one here
about Bad Wolf. About
No, before
Bad
that,
Wolf,
I'm
Bad
saying
Wolf
when we're
here,
still
Bad
in the
Wolf
cafe.
Oh, and she's crying about
Yeah.
It's a Better Life.
Yeah, it's a better life with the Doctor. I don't mean traveling and seeing aliens and spaceships and things. That doesn't matter. Oh, she says that don't matter, actually. Sorry. Got to get the London in there. The Doctor showed me a better way of living your life. You know, he showed you to. You don't have to give up. You don't just let things happen. You make a stand. You say no. You have the guts to do what's right when everyone else runs away.
Yeah, excellent. And she does it. She does it so well. She delivers
just
it great. And she's like crying in the shop.
Oh, and she like storms out as well.
She's not being quiet either. Whoever's working behind the till in this shop must be like, this is fucking
Yeah, like
crazy.
section this woman.
Like she just must be not with it. Then they go to the TARDIS, right? And she says to Mickey, "There's nothing left for me here."
Yeah, good job they broke up in Boomtown. Holy shit.
Well,
good job he's got Trisha Delaney to keep him warm at night.
And his balls empty. No.
From all the piss.
From all the piss. Empty your balls of the piss, you know? Oh, the pissing of the ways. No, when he's talking to Rose, it's the scene that I like for him in this episode is when she says, "There's nothing left for me here," and Mickey asks, he's like, "Nothing," and she doesn't even look at him.
Yeah,
And I think that's the thing is like she doesn't even look. She's looking at the TARDIS console and she's like, "Nothing," and Mickey doesn't go like, "Well, fuck you." He just goes, "Okay, well then we got to get this thing open."
he's just
But
accept.
she also says.
Pardon me.
She also is like, she says she needs to go, and he goes, "You could die," and she says, "That's a risk I need to take." And Mickey still again is like, "Well, we got to get this thing open," because I think that's he's let go.
Yeah, by this point.
By that point, it's. And I don't think he's over her, but I think it's a case of I need to let you go because if I don't now, I never will.
And the thing is, I do think as well that if Rose had come back and she had accepted this, I think he would have been very happy to like just pick up where they left off, just resume that relationship,
go back on autopilot.
But obviously, that's the whole thing, is that Rose has grown past that and Mickey hasn't.
Immediately after this is the realization of the people that have been sort of indoctrinated into the war that the bullets don't work, but my handwriting's abysmal, and so it looks like I've written "the bullets don't wonk," and that's the best thing we can end this season on.
Bullets don't wonk.
Bullets don't wonk.
Oh yeah, the way that the floor manager, the way that she's like, "Oh, you lied to us." That's pretty sad, man.
Yeah, she's like, "You lied to us," and I'm like, "You collateral damage on purpose."
But that's the thing about this whole episode. It's just it's so grim. I also have to come clean here, and I have to say that the Doctor Who death count, it's not updated for this episode yet. I am very sorry.
Okay.
I know that there are deaths, and I will put them in, and we will address them next week.
I have one request.
Okay.
The android has to be on there.
Too right.
Okay, right. Because sure we're on the same page there, because she helped. She killed
the
3 Daleks. She atomized the 3 fucking Daleks.
The android plan is such a good plan. If you
is.
forget the fact that she has to say, "You are the weakest link," before every time she fires the fucking beam.
Does she actually? Is that like law?
I mean, I don't think she has to, but she doesn't say, like, she says, "You are the weakest link," then she fires the beam, so I guess it's just a way that the robot is programmed. But she does it,
I stick by the real Anne Robinson has one of those. Did you watch the video, by the way, the countdown one that I sent you?
Yeah, I did.
Had you seen it before? Or was
No,
it the
I
first
was
time?
like, what the fuck?
How would you miss that? It's so good, right?
Fucking Anne Robinson, man, legend.
Oh.
Do you know what would have been so good?
I will link it in the description of this episode.
Is Kim Woodburn, if they'd done a How Clean Is Your House episode, Kim Woodburn would have destroyed the Dalek Emperor with a flick of her fucking wrist. She would have put on them fucking fuzzy marigolds, and she would have absolutely just scrubbed him out of existence.
After this, where we go to, or at least in some form or fashion, after the bullets don't work, this is where we immediately go to Jackie and Rose's moment with Pete.
That is going
Pete.
in the mother-daughter trauma book.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that is a conversation that, I don't think that, like, because at the end of the conversation, Jackie still, I guess, kind of does what, like,
yeah, she tells her to stop talking. She's like, stop it.
But that is not an argument that they just like walked away from. You know that is something that continued. That is like
well, I don't know if it's something that continued, but it's definitely something that Jackie has thought on, because when she shows up, doesn't she say to Rose that she was right? She's like, you were right, your dad would have done this, so let's
I think she says something about how one sec, I'll try and find exactly what she says.
When she skirts around the corner like Bob the Builder.
Jackie driving a fucking tow truck. I'm obsessed with it.
I have a question. Is she been shagging for favours?
She is in the shagging wagon.
Is she shagging
herself
for favours?
right there?
Because she says, I got it off Rodrigo.
Yeah,
He
when
owes
she's
me a
like,
favour,
don't ask why.
I'm like, you been doing a shag?
Okay, what?
Do I need to buy a van?
No, sorry, that's
But yeah, the
yeah, she comes around. Sorry, she comes around. She says, Rodrigo, he owes me a favor. Never mind why, but you were right about your dad, sweetheart. He was full of mad ideas, and it's exactly what he would have done. Now get on with it before I change my mind.
There is something to be said about Jackie and Rose's flip flop of, you know, the I don't want you doing this versus actual support that I do like, because if you put yourself in Jackie's shoes, you would. This is how you'd be like, I want to do what's best for them, but I want to keep them safe. But I know that this is what they really want, and if they really want this, we got to, you know.
I think that something that is definitely worth note as well is that Rose says that, like, you know, 20,000 years in the future, the Doctor is dying. Jackie at any other point would have had such an issue sending her back into danger, because that's the thing. Like, Rose isn't just like, he needs me back. Like, she knows it's serious.
Yeah. Well, Jackie also praises the Doctor earlier. She says, you know, God knows I hate that man, but he did the right thing. He sent you back home to me. And Rose is like, but I want to die. But I want to just let me die. Those two workers die that I don't care about.
Yeah. I hate Davitch Pavale. I hate him so much. The thing is,
why?
First of all,
please do it, Davitch.
First of all, I just want to note that all of the guns have the safety on in this scene. If you look, the guns, the guns, and which, like, I want to say is not a thing the episode tries to hide. They do a close up on the guns, and you can see that the fucking safety is on.
I had this thought the other day, because I don't know a thing about guns, because, you know, they're not legal in this country, and I don't play any shooting games whatsoever. And I feel like any knowledge of guns that people in this country
You play
have,
Ratchet and Clank, you're a liar.
Okay, right. So I know how the Judicator works. Leave
there
me
you
alone. I know how the bouncer
Was
works.
it the Rhino? That's the one.
The rip you a new one.
There
it is. Fuck. No, but like, obviously we luckily for me gotten the bug to like write again, and I was thinking the other day, I was like, I could not write a book that involved guns unless I've, you know, fantasied them up and made them my own thing, because I've no knowledge on guns.
My entire knowledge of guns comes exclusively from video games, pretty much.
I'm like, in Star Wars they go pew pew, and that's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, pew pew. Or the gun in It's Always Sunny. You know what it is, bitch. Bang.
I hate Davitch Pavale because he has this whole subplot, which isn't even a subplot. Like, if I can say it's like 0.7 of a plot, then I fucking will. Where he's trying to shag Elaine the Pain, and then she says something about how she will go on a date with him.
No, she says she doesn't, and then
she gives him like a wink. Yeah, it's like, oh, ha ha. But then she gets shot by Daleks, and then this fucking guy is just like, I'm gonna hang over the top, expose my entire self. Because the thing is, one, this is a co-worker, and there is only one co-worker who I would take a bullet for.
Aww.
Yeah. But, like...
I was gonna love you. I'm gonna have to beep that. I didn't even realise until I said it that if we want to keep that in, I'm gonna have to beep it.
That's so funny. But yeah, like, you know, first of all, that's out there. But like, second of all, this is a war. There are greater stakes. I don't give a fuck if she is the baddest bitch on the planet, which I just would like to say. Elaine the Pain is not the biggest, you know, she's not the baddest bitch on the planet. She's barely the baddest bitch on the game station with fucking Linda with a Y and, you know, Rosie T up there. But like...
Rosie T!
But like, there is no hesitation. He's like, I had a date, and he pulls out even Captain America, even fucking Mr. Star Spangled Man with a Plan was like, I know that there are some more important things than pussy, but Davitch Pavale does not, so I hate him.
I can't believe that mid-speech you actually slapped your thigh. I saw you go for it. There's some passion there. There's some passion.
You know when Infinity War came out and like a bunch of people got really mad that like Star-Lord prevents everything from happening or whatever, allegedly. Yeah. I'm not one of those people. But like everyone's like, oh, I hate this guy. That's how I feel about Davitch Pavale.
The thing that I enjoy with this scene is, do you remember when they get one Dalek's eye stalk right before Elena Payne dies?
Yeah.
And she goes, we did it. And immediately she is zapped. She's like, we did it. And then falls. And I'm like, oh my God, the timing on your death is so funny. It's so good. Now we say goodbye to Linda.
You know Joe Ahern, our boy Joe Ahern.
Yeah.
Linda's death is his favourite, apparently.
Is his favourite death
His
of
favourite
the
death
season
from-
or
yep.
of his episodes?
It just said his favourite death. I assume it means
Okay.
like of his episodes.
I mean, it's a.
Oh no,
it's a
in the
good-
series actually. So there
Do you
you
know?
go.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's the Dalek silently saying "exterminate." The
That's-
lights going.
that's
duh,
the best
duh,
one.
duh, because you know, and you're like, "Oh my god."
So for a little recap, Linda is in this observation deck, and she's kind of been feeding
the kill floor.
information to Jack and the Doctor and stuff about where the Daleks are going. And we have an assault Dalek, which is like a different kind of Dalek, you know, just like
Is that
a
on the
little fun
outside?
thing.
The one with the
Yeah, the one with the like
yeah.
I don't know, blowtorch attachment. One of those tries to break in, and then from the other side of the glass, outside in the space bit, there's a bunch of Daleks, and you just see one say exterminate.
But you don't
with
hear
the
it.
fucking lights on
the
its
best
head,
thing.
and it's so good because you see it and you're like, holy shit. That's one of my goosebumps moments
Oh,
from
yeah.
this episode.
It's so good that I don't think it's being recreated, and I don't think it could be.
No.
Or at least if it would be, it wouldn't be done as well. It just couldn't. It's such a good, because you know you've seen enough of the Daleks by this point, even though you've only ever seen one and then a million. Like, but you know enough about them to be like, this is a thing they say. This is definitely their catchphrase, you know. And it's
It's really good. Well, the thing is, like I said, you know those songs where it's like a thing, or it's like songs that sound like another song, and it's just like a bunch of like grating noises, and it kind of sounds like a song.
Yeah.
Underneath that, this is another one where I feel like I can hear that Dalek saying exterminate.
Oh,
and
yeah,
all I'm
your
doing
brain
is looking
fills
at
in the
lights.
gap.
Yep.
She's gone. That's Linda. That's Linda's life
Just
support.
say, do I need to fucking reboot you?
This is where we get Super Rose.
Okay, before this, actually,
Okay,
we
alright.
get
Oh, my
Jack
bad.
dead. Dead Jack.
Jack doesn't die yet.
Yep, he does.
Does he?
Yep. I mean, maybe not immediately after the scene, but it's the next thing I've got in my notes. And that is...
Okay, no, he probably does.
Here's the thing I want to show you. There's a little issue with his death. A little CGI mishap.
Oh, with his skeleton, with his skeleton.
Yep. I don't know if you got it.
Right, we'll find out in just a moment.
You can, you can see his foot.
That's a split second that his foot goes
Oh,
through.
yeah, but you can bet I noticed it.
I will let 2004 off for that.
You
know what I mean?
But I'm taking no prisoners here on Doctor Who Rewind.
I'm gonna go back in time and appear on Confidential to say. Yeah, so Rose absorbs the time vortex and she takes the TARDIS back to the future. Then after that is when before Rose actually shows up there, the Daleks enter the Doctor's room.
Yeah, they do. They do the whole coward or killer.
Yeah, which is fucking phenomenal.
So good. So good.
The only thing about this,
just good, just enjoyment.
The only thing about this scene that like kind of annoys me is I'm like, you could have just shot him on sight and never had to deal with the Doctor again.
They
but
could have
you
done,
can't.
that's true.
It's a story. You can't do that.
Yeah, this is the thing that I don't really have anything to say that's like particularly interesting or, you know, fucking ingenuitive or something. It's just so good.
I like that officially, and it's on a card that Rose is called Super Rose. When she has the heart of the TARDIS in her. That is my favourite thing, and I'm never gonna.
Are we
call her
there?
that.
Are we gonna get back into it?
About Super Rose?
Yeah, is it time?
Is it time for the finale?
Because here's the thing. Rose opens that door and she's like, "Hear me, Doctor. No longer am I the woman you knew. I am fire and life incarnate. Now and forever, I am Phoenix." And she just fucks him up, man.
I'm just pulling up the script so that I've got it too, because I think this closing scene is important to go through. Wandering down.
So here's the thing. Do you want another one?
Not yet. We'll do. Actually, yeah, sure. I'm gonna go from the Emperor saying, "I want to see you become like me. Hail the Doctor, the great exterminator." And the Doctor goes, "I'll do it.
I'll fucking do it
I'll
again.
do it." Then prove yourself, Doctor. What are you, coward or killer?
Coward.
Any day.
Any day.
Any day. Then the Jack does the whole death thing or whatever.
Yep.
Mankind will be harvested because of your weakness, Doctor. And
like
what about
a hybrid?
Yeah, whoa. And what about me? Am I becoming one of your angels? Angles?
I absolutely love
Angels. I've
the
misread.
Emperor Dalek just for the way that he speaks. I love this like weird religious thing that he's got going on.
Yeah.
And originally, it was supposed to be the controller there to give the Doctor someone to talk to. She was supposed to still be wired in, but then they were like, "No, we'll do the Emperor Dalek
I don't
instead."
like that.
And I like that more.
You like her being there?
No,
more?
I mean the Emperor
Okay,
Dalek. I like
okay.
what they have done more. Like I'm glad, because I don't like. I think there's something about this, like, the thing about the Emperor Dalek is that I don't even think he's that intensely like scary in a powerful way. It's just this whole like religious fucking zealot act.
It's a cool concept.
Here's another thing as well that I don't think we touched on that I want to come back to really briefly for 1 second.
Sure.
Before Linda is killed, she's looking at like a map of Earth on the thing, and you can see the Daleks like fighting.
They bomb every continent.
And you can see the continent like lines. Shit, I guess like
this was. Thank you for reminding me, because this was the thing that I was thinking about. I was like, okay, so if the Daleks have bombed every continent and the Earth is basically just eradicated, the Doctor's not killing any people other than what's on
that's true.
The game station now.
Well,
right?
this is implying that every human died.
That's true.
They're like, and I think it's very much a Doctor thing. Even if there is a possibility that one person survived, you keep fighting for that one person.
This is courtesy, by the way, of chakotea.net.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. That is where we've gotten the script from here. So the Doctor closes his eyes and the TARDIS materializes behind him. Dalek, alert! TARDIS materializing. Emperor on view screen. You will not escape. The TARDIS doors open. Rose is silhouetted in a blinding golden light. Energy tendrils snake outwards. The Doctor. This is one of the 2 line deliveries of the Doctor that I'm not 100% in love with. We can watch them if you want.
Oh, the what have you done?
What have you done? Not a huge fan of that. I looked at the TARDIS and the TARDIS looked into me. You looked at the time vortex. Rose, no one's meant to see that. Emperor on view screen. This is the abomination. Dalek exterminate, as you know, as per usual. Rose stops the beam with her hand.
Oh yeah, she just pulls up her little palm and she goes, "Not today."
No. The Doctor says, I am the bad wolf. I create myself. I take the words. I scatter them in time and space. A message to lead myself here. Is that the bootstrap paradox? Is that what it's called? Bootstrap? Something like that?
Yeah. That's the one.
Where there's no origin specifically.
Yeah, you doing the thing makes a thing happen, so how did the thing happen in the first place? Because you had to do it. That's the one.
This is that. Okay. Rose, you've got to stop this. You got to stop this now. You've got the entire vortex running through your head. You're going to burn. That one I particularly love, delivery-wise. When he's like, you're going to burn, and his voice quakes a bit. And I'm like, okay,
I know exactly
cool.
the one that you mean.
Yeah. I want you safe, my Doctor, protected from the false god. Emperor on the view screen, you cannot hurt me, I am immortal. Rose, you are tiny. I can see the whole of time and space, every single atom of your existence, and I divide them. A Dalek disintegrates gently.
I fucking love Doctor Who so much, man.
So this is where I think Billie Piper is allowed to shed her fake accent, right?
Yes.
This is like her, when she comes in and she's a little bit more posh, she's a little bit more
I feel like this
established,
isn't
I
exactly what
suppose.
Billie Piper sounds like.
No,
I feel like
all
this
the way.
is, but this, she's not doing the accent anymore.
But there's something that she's meant to. I imagine she's been told, like, try and do something more deific, a bit more ethereal than normal.
I want to know who gave her a pass on that makeup, because oh my god,
the tear ruins it. The tear leaves a little piss trail. I'm done with piss this week.
She's got no, you're not.
I'm not.
She's got some she's got some running going on there.
Everything must come to dust. All things, everything dies. The time war ends. That's Rose. So this feels like to me that Rose is the one to end the time war officially. That's what this is supposed to be. We've had this introduced.
Yeah.
We're taking it through. The idea that the Daleks survived is one that says the time war is still technically going on.
Do you know what I really like about this?
What?
Is that they say in Boomtown that Margaret reverts to an egg because she wants a second chance. And I really love the idea. Yeah, because of this low level telepathy, it will kind of give you what you want.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that because of that, Rose ends the time war just because that's how much she cares about the Doctor.
Yeah. Which is excellent.
I like that. I love Dark Phoenix Rose. I love all of this. She's going to go burn the Dabari star system out the fucking sky.
Everything must come to dust. All things, everything dies. The time war ends. In brackets, the Daleks crumble.
Yep.
Emperor, I will not die. I cannot die. And the spaceship disappears in a golden wave. Rose, you've done it now. You've done it. Now stop. Just let go. And then Rose, can't. She is stuck with it. And she
How
brings...
can I let go of this? I bring life.
Jack breathes again. And then...
Here's your answer for that. It's a blood chemistry thing, by the way.
That brings him back.
Apparently that's what happens, when Rose does this, she changes Jack's blood chemistry, and that's how he is able to
not die.
Continue reviving,
Okay, but this is wrong. You can't control life and death, but I can. The sun and the moon, the day and night, but why do they hurt? The doctor, the power's going to kill you and it's my fault. That is the other line that I'm not a huge fan of. It's an expression thing that he does, and he like cowers into his own, like, into himself. We'll have a look in a moment. That I'm just not a huge fan of the delivery on that, but it's fine. I can see everything, all that is, all that was, all that ever could be. I fucking love this when he stands up and he's like, that's what I see all the time, and doesn't it drive you mad? Oh, goosebumps thinking about it, man. Which, and you don't get much of this later where the Doctor is like this, there's a thing in DC Comics that you won't know about. I don't even know if it's still a thing or if it was just a one-off. I don't remember. It was in a comic that they were trying to start up called Sideways. I don't know if it's still a thing. And it's kind of like Spider-Man, but he teleports. He like rifts in and out of like, he just like short, almost like Nightcrawler. Okay. But he wears like a Spider-Man-esque type morph suit thing. And he was this guy. I've forgotten the protagonist's name and who it was written by, so I'm a shit person for that. Obviously. But there's this thing, this giant time god called Tempest Fuginaut. And this is what it's reminding me of, is like the Doctor is almost a god of time. He sees everything, he hears, you know, a bit Dr. Manhattan-y. That he's like, this is it. This is, I am this. What's
it called? Because there's a difference between, like, wasn't it like omnipotence? Isn't it like all seeing or like all knowing or whatever? But there's one of those, and that's basically kind of what the Doctor is.
That's omniscient, all seeing and all knowing.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I've taken these headphones off because they are hurting my ears. So if I dip out, please let me know.
This is very Time Lord victorious, and I don't think anyone else behind the scenes would admit that. But that line where he is, when he's saying these things, it makes so much sense that this is like, yeah, you see those things all the time. It's probably because you're a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But at least you're not hearing, you know, drum beats.
No, it's so good. And then, so the Doctor and Rose kiss. How do we feel about that?
I'm not done reading.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
Continue. So
Rose goes, my head. And that was a good impression. And the Doctor... Oh, wait, because this is a bit ASMR. Rose goes, my head. And the Doctor goes, come here.
I think you need a doctor.
Stop. And Rose goes, it's killing me. And the Doctor says, I think you need a doctor. I fucking hate that line with such a burning passion. It almost... And I mean, you know, the Doctor kisses Rose. The golden energy transfers from her eyes to his. Then she faints in his arms. The Doctor exhales energy back into the TARDIS and its doors close. I don't like that bit. I don't like the I mean, I get why the kiss happens, I suppose. Does it need to? Do you gotta kiss him?
I don't think it does. I think they could have just looked into each other's eyes.
And I'm fine with that. That's okay for me. But I don't like this... I don't like Doctor human romances anyway.
No, I don't.
It's why I think that River works so fucking well and Alex Kingston knocks it out of the park every time she shows up.
I don't like Doctor Who. Wait. I clipped that.
And
I don't like Doctor Human romances.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I really, really don't. And on the topic of Doctor Human romances, I want to tell all of the little Tumblr girlies who were telling people that you do not need to watch the 9th Doctor. I'm going to tell you all very publicly.
Suck a fucking egg.
Get fucked. This is so good.
It is. When Jack comes back, he picks up a handful of Dalek dust from the floor. Then
dust.
Yep. Then runs when he hears the TARDIS engines. He's too late. It dematerializes, leaving him stranded.
Okay, so do you know why that happens? Do you want me to tell you something?
Yeah, because I was wondering about that.
So the crack is that...
That's in season 5. Sorry.
Fuck off.
And you know what? I was mid-mouthful. I was like, I gotta finish this swig before.
No, okay, so the reason why, according to Mr. Russell T. Dussel himself, according to Mr. Russell Tussle Dussel,
got that Russell T. Dussy. I'm so sorry. I hate myself, you know. It's not just you. It's not just you that hates me. It's me too.
Jack is left behind because the point of this is to see how Rose deals with a regenerated Doctor, whereas according
Jack
to Russell,
Jack
would just take it in his stride. Jack could just be like, okay, and move on.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously this isn't like particularly the tone for this. So what else have we got? We're back in the TARDIS now.
So now we're at the
pulling into the station at the end, baby.
Very, very end. Rose, what happened? Doctor, don't you remember? Rose, it's like there was this singing. Doctor, that's right, I sang a song of the Daleks ran away.
What song did he sing to make the Daleks run away?
That fucking Jess Glynn Jet 2 one. Darling, hold my right? And the Daleks are like, fuck off, we don't have hands.
Jess Glynn.
Your sister's
Glynn.
going nuts.
Jess Glynn, if you're listening, square up.
I've no animosity towards Jess Glynn, by the way.
Oh, I have animosity towards Jess Glynn because when I was going to Amsterdam, we were flying Jet 2.
Oh, no.
And for whatever reason, the plane was delayed taking off. But we were already all on the plane. And it was only delayed for, like, I think they need to, like, clear the runway or something. It was, like, a daft reason. So we all stayed on the plane. And, like, for the whole time, because they were back at that point, you know, where it was like, you know, keep all devices, like, away. Don't, like, be on your phone, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Because we were prepped to take off. And all you could hear the whole time was the do 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 for about 20 minutes, and it was infuriating. So Jess Glynn, apologise to me personally for that right now.
Mum was doing a clean earlier and Take Me Home, come on, and I was like, oh, this is pure sadness. Sang a song of the Daleks ran away. Yeah. Rose, I was at home. No, I wasn't. I was in the TARDIS, and there was this light. I can't remember anything else. The Doctor's skin is darkening. By the way, my note here, and I'm so sorry for this, it just says hand fetish go brr. And you know exactly what I mean when I say that, when he's got his hand on the console. Yep. And CG was in such a way back in the day that he was not allowed to move his hand an inch to get this effect done. The Doctor's skin is darkening is what we've got here. Oh, okay. So this might have been the original script and they had a different effect going for it. I do not know.
Rose Tyler, I was going to take you so many places.
Do you want to do the Rose bits and I'll do the Doctor bits?
Go on, let's do a little role play.
Do you want to... Please don't say that to me ever again. Rose Tyler is going to take you to so many places. Barcelona, not the city Barcelona, the planet Barcelona. You'd love it. Fantastic place. They've got dogs with no noses. Imagine how many times a day you end up telling that joke and it's still funny.
Then why can't we go?
Maybe you will, and maybe I will, but not like this.
You're not making any sense.
I might never make sense again. I might have two heads, or no heads. Imagine me with no head, and don't say that's an improvement. But it's a bit dodgy, this process. You never know what you're going to end up with. The Doctor doubles over in pain.
Doctor?
Stay away.
Doctor, tell me what's going on.
I absorbed all the energy of the time vortex, and no one's meant to do that. Every cell in my body is changing.
Can't you do something?
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Talons have this little trick. It's a sort of... It's sort of a way of cheating death, except it means I'm going to change, and I'm not going to see you again. Not like this, not with this daft old face. And before I go...
Don't say that.
You prepped for that. I heard you breathe in before I finished. You were going in on this.
I'm going full big finish, baby.
Rose, before I go, I just want to tell you, you were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what?
So was I.
You're going to cry. Golden light bursts out of the Doctor's body. This is not a nice, quiet regeneration of the usual kind. Everything changes very suddenly, and the 10th Doctor is standing there. Everyone say hi to David Tennant using a South London accent instead of his natural Scottish burr. Hello. Oh, new teeth. That's weird. Yeah, luckily they never bring that back, eh? So where was I? Well, that's right.
Barcelona.
Oh. Right.
When me and Luke were watching it, well, so
this is the other scene, by the way, that almost gets me.
Yeah, me too.
Because Eccleston knew he was leaving, and that's all well and good. But you can tell there's no like actor sabotaging a scene due to bad blood.
Oh yeah, he just goes for it, and
he
it's
knows
so
that
good.
He's playing with a legacy TV show, and he knows the stakes. He knows that regardless of his feelings, people are gonna care about this. By the way, we are not leaving the Christopher Eccleston reasons and stuff untouched. We're going to get to that in our season 1 wrap up, where we like rank the episodes, ask where the fuck goes.
Yeah, man, the little rewind party, little season 1 rewind party.
Yeah,
this whole regeneration scene is so good.
It is. I love it to death. The Doctor playing it up, Rose being super confused.
Well, yeah, when I was watching this with Luke, he just decided to take a minute to talk about how cruel it was that they have dogs with no noses on Barcelona. And he was like, but that's how they do all of their smelling. He was like, that's how they know what things are, Katie. And he was like, oh, what do they do with no noses? And the Doctor wants to go there. That's so horrible.
Oh, poor doggos. But, right? Oh, no.
Yeah, poor doggos.
Poor doggos. This is harkened back to a bit, and you realise that the Doctor only regenerates once every, at least for him normally, once every couple 100 years maybe, I guess. Maybe, like, you know, it's always in the tens. I don't think it's ever like, oh shit, I've only been this person for a year.
Yeah, we don't get very many short Doctor stints. I like to imagine that they've all at least had enough time to like kind of know themselves.
We only see them for a few years at a time, but we know that they do things.
Yeah.
Matt Smith ages, for some reason Stephen Moffat likes to bring him from age 900 all the way up to like over 1,000 years old.
Even Capaldi though, even when he's in his confession dial, he was in there for like billions of years.
Which is another Moffat thing that I fucking hate. I don't like age. I don't want the Doctor to be like, I'm billions of years old. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not a huge fan of
I'm fine with it in that context because it's like you may have aged, but you didn't like kind of live, if that makes sense. Like you were trapped in this place waiting out time.
That one's a bit more finicky to work
That one's
around.
a bit more absolutely makes me feel things like I've never felt before. Peter Capaldi.
Calm down.
I love you
Calm
so
down.
much.
Calm down.
I love you.
But yeah, it makes sense. What I'm getting to is that the Doctor not regenerating, once a year, it's not a common thing for him to do. Makes sense as to why he doesn't bring it up. But every time he regenerates and someone's like, "What's going on?" I'm always like, "Has he not explained this to them at some point?"
Yeah, you'd think that'd be a thing that you came in with real early. Just be like, by the way, I might entirely, completely change who I am as a person. Fundamentally.
The nature of my biology is that I might be a completely different person. What if he just dies in his sleep one day like a human does?
If I get a bit too hot one day, you're going to wake up and there's going to be a completely new man. And that's just going to have to be fine.
If I get a bit too hot.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, no.
If I'm trying to change a fuse.
Then he starfishes all the way.
He does. This is the first time that you ever see a Doctor stand and regenerate, Previously, everyone collapses. They all collapse and then they kind of, like, wake up as another person. This is the first time we get the proper, like, pshong,
Does
like,
2 do that? Because 2's a forced regeneration, right?
Yeah.
Does he also collapse? Because doesn't he have the other, like, the heads going around him and stuff? And he's like, no! And then 3
I
is
love
there.
the second Doctor. He gets the whole, like, collapsing out of the TARDIS.
Okay. I do love this regeneration. My note is, can we just go through this scene? It's very important. We did that. New teeth, and here he is, David Tennant.
David Tennant.
There's no next time to rate here, so there's no point doing that. I just don't know I still don't know what to rate this episode, because this last scene is so phenomenal that I feel like it's a cop-out giving it a 5, but I also think this episode does everything it needs to do.
Yeah, that was my
to
thing.
wrap
I
the
didn't want to
season.
give it a 5 on account of the whole new Doctor, on account of the whole it being a finale and stuff. But I genuinely don't think there's anything in it that drags it down past a 5 for me. Like I really don't, and I don't want to be that person, but I think I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, man.
I think I will too. I'm not even like a person for war stories and the whole grimy aesthetic. I'm not a huge fan of. I like it when things look a bit neater than this. I don't mean like clinically white.
Yeah.
The way that like Apple Aperture is later on. Like I'm not a huge fan of like. I don't mean like
Red Waterfall.
Yeah, I don't mean like that sterile. I mean like just normal, something looking okay and not super grimy. And war stories in general are not for me. But it's done well. It does what it needs to do. I am hooked.
Everyone performs their ass off.
I think that Rose's T-pose, by the way, is when she's dismantling the Daleks. Give me this controller for a second. We're gonna find this.
Please do.
Rose is T-posing, man.
She is.
She is T-posing.
T-pose, rhyme plurals.
Yeah, it does. Fucking English student. So the thing that I just, as I was finding this, thought of whilst you were on a pission. We're putting that out into the world now. We're sending on a piss mission. You're on a pission, right?
And the best part is afterwards you got to be like, pission successful.
Pission accomplished.
Pission accomplished.
Oh my god, you're so drunk.
Pission failed.
Oh no.
I would like to let it know to listeners of Doctor Who Rewind that after 3 cans I am not very drunk.
You're not?
Not really.
Yeah, nor am I.
No.
I'm only on 2. I'm on my second.
Step it up, man.
It's
not very. That's not very season 1 wrap party of Doctor Who Rewind of you.
Shut the fuck up! We haven't even wrapped yet. Oh my god, are you always this fucking preachy? I'm sick of you. Season 2's cancelled. Not renewed. Nielsen's ratings.
I wouldn't blame anyone for not picking up Doctor Who Rewind for a season 2. They're like, oh god, all those kids
fuck off.
Talk about piss.
We're doing better than The Boys. The most viewed TV show. No, what I was gonna say. The whole bit where Rose is like, my doctor, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I end the time war. Is that Rose or is that the TARDIS?
Or is that the Bad Wolf entity? Because that's what I found. No, genuinely, that's what I found.
Wait, what?
That there is, obviously Rose absorbs the heart of the TARDIS.
Yes.
But the way that she is officially referred to after that is as the Bad Wolf entity.
Okay. Not Super Rose. I thought it was
Not
Super Rose.
Super Rose.
God damn it. But yeah, I was just
Not
watching
Rose
it a second
Grey.
ago, and I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's a thing where where instead of, I sound odd in my own ears. Oh, there we go. Where instead of Rose talking, this is now the TARDIS talking to the Doctor, like Idris, because it almost, if you had her in to read these lines, I think it would work. The woman who played Idris.
Oh, I agree.
I think this scene would work with her.
I agree.
That's another example of bringing someone who has a lot of chemistry with the Doctor, and then I get annoyed when they leave because I'm like, oh, you were so good. But that's not a today thing. That's a 5 seasons from now and a few specials thing.
The way that I feel about this whole, like, is it the TARDIS? Is it Rose? Is it Bad Wolf? No.
It's all of them.
Like, don't get me wrong. This is Dark Phoenix. But there was this
you're
whole
an
thing.
Woman. That's why. It's because you're an X-Man lady.
There was this whole thing for a long time where it was like, did Jean Grey do these things, or was the Dark Phoenix like a separate entity that overtook her? And I'm like, no, Jean Grey did those fucking things. That's how I think, and I will not be dissuaded from that. And that's kind of how I feel about Rose in this situation, where I'm like, you know, Rose did these things because she had the power to do these things.
That's fair. She is like, well, she might not be the driving force. She is the intent. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Because I am fine with the idea of these things, you know, being like, sort of, you know, hugely powerful cosmic forces, because the kind of powerful where you're just like, oh, it can do anything. And I feel like once you reach that kind of power, unless there is some sort of driving force, i.e. Rose in this situation,
I think that's a problem as someone who does read a lot, like just book wise and reads a lot of sci-fi.
Okay,
shit.
Mr. Man, go tell fucking Leah Michelle you know what I read.
I will drop kick you in the fucking glasses. Be quiet. So sorry. Good vibes in this rap party.
I love doing Doctor Who Rewind.
Blink twice if you're being held against your will. This is an audible thing, so you can't do a shit. So then, you know, we'll get back to the end. David Tennant, how excited are you?
I am very, very excited, actually.
Did you expect not to be?
No, I didn't expect not to be. But I feel like one of the things that I've noticed about watching episodes for this podcast is that it very much does feel like watching them from a first time. Again, in a way where it's kind of like, now I have to maybe watch this more closely or more critically. And the thing is, I could not tell you the amount of times I've seen Doctor Who in my life. Like, I really couldn't.
I'm the same.
It's a lot. And even times when I don't do a full series 1 to whatever watch, I watch the odd episode here and there. Like, I really, really do fucking love this show. But I have gotten very attached. I mean, I was already very attached to Christopher Eccleston, but I have, like, you know, had like a renewed attachment.
Yeah, I think this, like, I rewatched this, like I said, last year to sort of reclaim it for my own, like, personal reasons. And even then, I didn't have this much appreciation for what I was being, presented to me. And I've seen this season countless times when I got that box set back when I was like 6 years old for Christmas, like that. I've seen this season particularly way more than any other, because every time I've done a rewatch,
season 1 is my most viewed season of this show.
Yeah,
probably.
Because that's where I always go back to, and it's and you know, and so when I do it now, making notes, there is like, I know what's going to happen in a vague sense, but I have never made notes going through it. I've never, tossed my phone to one side and gone, everybody shut the fuck up.
Full attention.
Doctor Who is on, and tried to really, and there's a lot of turn your brain off. You enjoy this thing, you enjoy this thing. So I know for a fact I can safely turn my brain off and put Doctor Who on and not think about a single thing. But since, watching it when I was 6, I am glad to say I have grown as a human. I still have Lego, but it's fine. But doing it and making notes and stuff, especially whilst on the course that we are doing, like at university, is like try and be a bit more critical thinking and a bit more, which I hate to be like, university has helped because I don't want to be that person, but fuck, man, if it hasn't helped me get a bit more critical with the way that I think of plot and storytelling in general. Where I watched a TV show the other day. There's noises outside that we're just picking up. Yep. There's a TV show that I watched a few weeks back, the first 3 episodes of Vox Machina season 2, where there's a thing. Shut the fuck up, okay? Right. And something happens at the end of the 3rd episode, and I spent about an hour, didn't write anything down, but about an hour thinking like, okay, how do you get to that point?
Yeah.
How do you build up everything else to make sure that this one thing happens? And I don't know if this is a career I can do. I've never had more doubts but been more encouraged in my life. It's so strange.
I think just as my general roundup thoughts on this is that I love Doctor Who. I love this episode. I love Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper, John Barrowman. I love everyone. Camille Coduri, love of my life. What are you doing next Thursday? I've just purely enjoyed doing this. Too. Very, very much.
I'm looking forward to. I don't know where we're going to start with Big Finish, but at some point we will when we've get some input. I cannot wait to get some of the Eccleston stuff and just have him back and be like, oh, I want to see.
Well, that's
I want to know if his approach to the characters changed.
That's the thing
in
of it all, isn't
20
it?
years,
The Eccleston of it all.
Which we'll get to in next week's wrap up.
We will come back next week. Oh wait, sorry. Do you want my remaining?
I was gonna say I was just gonna be like, hey, let's you just want to get to drinking, don't you? Just want to get some scran in here and go to the pub is the plan.
Okay, no, we'll wind this up with the trivia.
Okay.
So here is all of the trivia that I could not logistically slot into the episode.
Let's do it.
Jack, I will count him being shot in this episode
As a death?
As a death, yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, technically, anything from this point forward, I wouldn't, but I would count this as a death.
And he dies for a good amount of time.
He does. This makes Jack the first companion death since Planet of Fire, way back when, a Fifth Doctor story where Chameleon died. Other companion death. Whatever, that's that. Everyone who isn't Rose, Jack, or Mickey dies as well.
Jackie.
Sorry, yeah, I said Jack. I meant Jackie. Rose, Jackie, or Mickey. Those are the only people in this episode who do not die. Horror of Fang Rock, which was a Fourth Doctor story. That's the last time that this happened, and it will not happen again until the Doctor's wife, where we like basically kill all of our
everyone except the companion.
Yeah, all of our like extended guest cast.
Yep. Yeah. Oh damn.
Mm-hmm.
So the Doctor's wife.
Mm-hmm. Also, he is another one.
Don't Auntie and Uncle die in that? Oh well, I guess
they do.
If they destroy all of House, I suppose that makes sense. I know the Ood goes as well.
The Hungarian title of this episode was "We Meet After the Battle."
That's fucking metal. That.
That's so cool,
That's
right?
metal as fuck. We
that,
meet after the battle, and then Tennant rolls up with a fucking spear.
That's a Game of Thrones line. You know, like that's that kind of thing.
That's some high fantasy shit. I love that.
Also, here is another one, and this is like a bit of a myth, bit of a myth busted on this episode. Is the alternate ending of this episode that was done?
It's like a what if Eccleston stayed?
Well, Eccleston was confirmed leaving since Unquiet Dead.
Yeah, they knew.
It was a hot minute, but they did like a little fake out thing for it.
Was it after shooting the Unquiet Dead that they knew? So it was before the season aired.
I'm not sure, but it probably was shooting. But there was supposed to be an alternate death in all that is said about, because Russell T Davies said that apparently like it would be the kind of thing that would be good to put out on a DVD, except it's never been released. And it was also the ending that was shown to the the screenings, like the press screenings of this episode, in which all that is known about it is that the TARDIS scans Rose and it just says danger, life form dying, and that's like the only thing.
Well, that would have been the cliffhanger.
Well, that's the only information that we have about that scene, since it's never like formally been released or anything.
I want to know so much more about that. Show me it now.
That feels like it lines up with the world where Linda maybe lived.
Yeah.
Like Linda travelled with the Doctor or something. Which, you know, as much as I do love Linda, I'm very glad for another season of Rose, I have to say.
Oh yeah, she's great for this. Is that all of the trivia?
And that's all the trivia.
Well, I'm gonna stick with the 5 out of 5. Fuck it.
Oh no, me too. 5 out of 5.
I'm gonna hit the fuck it button
for Doctor Who Rewind.
This after editing might be a shorter episode. I'm fine with that. There's a lot of this episode doesn't do much wrong for me. I also don't think that I have any very little nitpicky things in here either. I just think that this is good Doctor Who. Man. Yeah, I'd rather be like, this is good. Gush about it for a bit, cut it down to what it needs to be, and send it out rather than pad it out with anything else.
Yeah. And all I will say as a departing note is that I have thoroughly enjoyed these past 13 episodes of Doctor Who Rewind. I have enjoyed talking about Doctor Who with you.
Oh, thank you very much.
I have enjoyed
likewise all
of this, and then we will see you next week for a little season one finale, I guess.
Just gonna have a private talk with just my microphone.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Keep your headphones on, if you want. But I think she's only saying this because she's had a drink.
Oh, fuck off.
No, I've enjoyed it too. 5 out of 5. Let us know what you thought of this episode.
Yes,
if you do have any thoughts on this episode,
share your feelings about the long game.
This isn't the long game. I told you she'd had a drink.
Share your feelings about season 1 of Doctor Who. It would be lovely to hear from anyone.
We are DW Rewind everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, unfortunately. YouTube. Anything else that we are on is also under DW Rewind. So
yep. Find us on the internet.
Find us, follow us, stalk
me,
us.
Doctor.
I will fucking
I was doing a season 4 thing.
I haven't seen season. Wait, season.
You have. You know when Rose is like on the phone, she's like, "Find me, Doctor."
Does she do that?
Yeah, she does when she's with Wilf and Sylvia.
Oh,
at
okay.
the house. That's a thing. Hopefully one day something horrible will happen to me and I won't be able to remember anything about this show, and then I'll stop being so unbearable.
I said goodbye.
Okay, bye. Thank you for enjoying Rewind for these past 13 episodes.
Or hating it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, more likely hating it, to be fair.
See you next week for the wrap up. Bye.
Bye.